It was a chilly Christmas Eve in 1945, and the Sodder family home in Fayetteville, West Virginia, was full of laughter and anticipation. George and Jenny Sodder, along with 9 of their 10 children, were preparing for bed after a long day of festivities. At 1 a.m., Jenny was startled awake by the smell of smoke. By the time George and Jenny realized the house was ablaze, chaos erupted. 4 of the children escaped alongside their parents. But 5 of the Sodder children, Maurice, Martha, Louis, Jenny, and Betty, aged 5 to 14, were nowhere to be found. George frantically tried to rescue them, smashing a window and suffering severe injuries, only to be driven back by the raging fire. He attempted to climb to their window using a ladder, but it was missing. Desperate, he tried starting his truck to pull them out, but both of his trucks mysteriously failed to work. The fire consumed the house within 45 minutes. In the aftermath, investigators concluded the children had perished in the flames. Yet, no human remains were found in the ashes. A chilling fact, as even a blazing house fire couldn't completely incinerate bones. As the Sodders grieved, inconsistencies in the case began to surface. A telephone repairman revealed the house's phone line had been deliberately cut, not damaged by the fire. A witness reported seeing a figure throw an object resembling a firebomb onto the Sodders' roof that night. Later, Jenny found an unusual green rubber object in the yard, suspected to be a form of incendiary device. Over the years, strange clues emerged. A woman claimed she saw the missing children watching her from a car while the fire raged. George received an anonymous photograph of a boy resembling one of his missing sons, now an adult. The Sodders displayed the image on a billboard, appealing for answers. Despite decades of investigation and cryptic leads, the question remained: did the Sodder children die in the fire, or were they abducted? In January 1959, 10 hikers, led by Igor Dyatlov, ventured into the icy wilderness of the Ural Mountains. They were young, experienced, and equipped for the harsh conditions. But only one, Yuri Yudin, turned back due to illness, a decision that likely saved his life. The rest pressed on, aiming to reach a peak called Otorten. They never made it. Weeks later, a search party found their campsite. The hikers' tent was slashed open from the inside, as if they had fled in terror. Some had run into the freezing wilderness wearing only socks or underclothes. Their bodies were discovered over several weeks, scattered across the snow. The first few were found frozen, their deaths attributed to hypothermia. But the story grew darker. 3 of the hikers suffered horrifying injuries. Ludmila Dubinina's chest cavity was crushed as if by immense force, her tongue and eyes missing. Nikolai Thibault-Brignol suffered a fractured skull, and another had broken ribs. The injuries were baffling, more akin to a car crash than a fall. Yet there were no external wounds to explain the damage. Investigators noted other strange details. Some of the hikers' clothing contained traces of radiation. Reports of strange lights in the sky that night fueled speculation of a secret military test or UFOs. The Soviet government attributed the deaths to an unknown compelling force, but left many questions unanswered. Despite modern investigations and theories ranging from avalanche missteps to covert weapons testing, the Dyatlov Pass Incident remains one of history's most chilling and unexplained tragedies. When the Mary Celeste left New York in November 1872, there was no sign that it would become one of the greatest maritime mysteries of all time. The ship, a sturdy brigantine, carried a crew of 7, Captain Benjamin Briggs, his wife Sarah, and their 2-year-old daughter Sophia. The Mary Celeste was loaded with industrial alcohol bound for Italy, a routine journey for an experienced captain. But on December 5th, another vessel, the Dei Gratia, found the Mary Celeste adrift in the Atlantic. The ship was in perfect condition. Its cargo was intact, and the captain's log ended abruptly 10 days earlier. Yet the lifeboat and all those aboard were missing. Investigators were baffled. No signs of a struggle were evident, and the ship's provisions were plentiful. Why would a seasoned crew abandon a sound vessel? Some theorized the alcohol fumes caused the crew to panic, fearing an explosion. Others suggested piracy, though the lack of theft contradicted this. Some whispered of sea monsters, Bermuda Triangle-like phenomena, or even alien abductions. Despite countless inquiries and theories, the Mary Celeste remains adrift in the seas of speculation, her crew's fate an enduring enigma. On December 1st, 1948, a man's body was discovered on Somerton Beach near Adelaide. He was well dressed in a suit and tie, but oddly, every label on his clothing had been removed. He carried no identification, and his cause of death was unclear. Months later, a key clue emerged. A hidden pocket in the man's trousers contained a scrap of paper with the words Tamam Shud printed on it. The phrase, meaning finished in Persian, was traced to the Rubaiyat by Omar Khayyam. Police located a copy of the book with a torn page matching the scrap. Inside, they found a mysterious code and a phone number belonging to a woman who denied knowing the man but acted suspiciously. Despite decades of investigation, the man's identity and the code's meaning remain a mystery. Was he a spy during the Cold War? A jilted lover seeking solace in poetry? Or did his death involve something darker? The case, often dubbed Australia's greatest mystery, still haunts investigators. 19-year-old Brandon Swanson was driving home from a party on May 14, 2008, when his car veered into a ditch near Canby, Minnesota. Unharmed, he called his parents for help, describing landmarks nearby. Yet, when they arrived, he was nowhere to be found. Brandon remained calm on the phone, guiding his parents to his location. Then, abruptly, he shouted, "Oh shit!" and the call disconnected. Panicked, his parents tried calling back, but Brandon never answered. Search teams scoured the area, but his car was found miles from where he claimed to be. Despite exhaustive efforts, no trace of Brandon or his belongings has ever been discovered. Theories range from accidental drowning to foul play, but his disappearance remains unsolved. Brandon's last known words, spoken in the dark, desolate Minnesota night, echo in the minds of those still searching for answers.